Deep in the Florida Everglades, a vast and untamed wilderness teeming with life, lies a place shrouded in mystery and controversy. This unique ecosystem, a tapestry of sawgrass marshes and cypress swamps, has long been a sanctuary for diverse flora and fauna. But now, something new has emerged from within its depths. A controversial new facility has emerged, a structure that stands in stark contrast to the natural beauty surrounding it. Its presence has ignited passionate debate and raised serious questions about its purpose and impact. Alligator Alcatraz, a name that conjures images of isolation and peril, hinting at the complex issues at play within its walls. Not a prison for criminals, but something altogether different, but a state-run migrant detention center, a place where individuals seeking a new life find themselves caught in the crosshairs of policy and politics. It's now the center of a national debate, a focal point for discussions about immigration reform, human rights, and the very soul of our nation. The name alone evokes isolation and danger, a sense of being cut off from the world, surrounded by the untamed forces of nature. Surrounded by alligators and secrecy, a combination that breeds suspicion and fuels speculation about what truly goes on behind its guarded gates. Built to house migrants, those who have journeyed far seeking opportunity and refuge. Under Florida's crackdown on illegal immigration, a policy that has sparked both support and outrage across the state and the nation. The center's rapid construction and lack of transparency have only added to the mystery, raising concerns about oversight and accountability, have fueled rumors and outrage, igniting protests and calls for greater scrutiny of the facility's operations. Lawmakers recently toured the facility, seeking to gain first-hand knowledge of the conditions and operations within. And their reports have shocked the nation, painting a picture that has left many questioning the true nature of Alligator Alcatraz. State officials defend it as necessary, arguing that it is a crucial component of their efforts to enforce immigration laws, while critics describe inhumane conditions and deliberate secrecy, alleging that the facility is a violation of basic human rights. The tour, meant to clarify, to shed light on the situation, only deepened the controversy, leaving more questions than answers in its wake. This story forces us to confront tough questions, to grapple with the complexities of immigration policy and its impact on human lives. About immigration, human rights, and the ethical considerations that must guide our actions, and the standards we uphold for those in custody, ensuring that even in detention, human dignity is respected and protected. Alligator Alcatraz, a name that now echoes through the halls of political discourse, began with a declaration, a seemingly simple act that would ignite a firestorm of controversy. Governor DeSantis, leveraging the power of his office and citing what he described as an escalating immigration crisis, took center stage. He argued that immediate and decisive action was paramount to protect the interests of the state. With a stroke of a pen, he signed an emergency order, a legal instrument designed to bypass typical bureaucratic processes in times of urgent need. This emergency order allowed the state to bypass numerous regulations, effectively fast-tracking the construction of the controversial facility. Environmental impact studies, zoning laws, and standard building permits were all seemingly swept aside in the name of expediency. The result was astonishing. The facility was erected in just 8 days, a feat that supporters hailed as a testament to governmental efficiency and resolve. The governor's office touted this rapid construction as decisive action, a bold move to address a pressing issue. They emphasized the importance of swift responses in the face of perceived threats. This approach garnered significant support from prominent figures including Donald Trump, who saw the project as a reflection of his own hardline stance on immigration. He publicly praised the project as a model of border enforcement, suggesting that other states and even the federal government should emulate Florida's approach. However, critics quickly emerged, arguing that such speed came at a steep price. They contended that the rushed timeline inevitably led to dangerous shortcuts in safety protocols and fundamental design considerations, potentially jeopardizing the long-term integrity of the structure and the safety of its occupants. Furthermore, environmental and human rights groups voiced serious concerns, questioning the lack of proper oversight during the construction process. They highlighted the potential for irreversible environmental damage, particularly concerning the facility's impact on the delicate ecosystem of the Everglades, a vital and protected wetland. While supporters continue to see the emergency order as a necessary measure to address a critical situation, opponents vehemently denounce it as a blatant example of executive overreach, an abuse of power that undermines democratic principles. At the heart of the controversy lies a fundamental question: Was the perceived crisis a genuine threat demanding immediate action, or was it deliberately manufactured to justify the construction of a facility that intentionally sidesteps established accountability measures and transparency? Regardless of the answer, Alligator Alcatraz has undeniably become a national symbol, a potent representation of the deep divisions within American society. It stands as a stark reminder of the ongoing clash between the perceived need for rapid enforcement and the fundamental importance of basic oversight, transparency, and adherence to established legal and ethical standards. When lawmakers toured Alligator Alcatraz, their access was tightly controlled. Guided through only pre-approved areas, they were barred from entering detainee housing and medical facilities. From a distance, they saw severe overcrowding. Up to 32 people crammed into spaces meant for far fewer. Lawmakers couldn't speak to detainees or inspect living quarters up close, leaving many questions unanswered. The medical wing was off-limits, raising suspicions about the quality of care. These restrictions undermined the purpose of oversight and fueled demands for a full, independent investigation. Instead of easing concerns, the limited tour amplified criticism and suspicion. The lack of transparency remains a central issue in the ongoing debate. Lawmakers' accounts reveal a grim reality inside Alligator Alcatraz. Severe overcrowding is rampant, dozens packed into cages, stripped of privacy and dignity. The Florida heat is relentless, with little climate control putting detainees at risk of heat-related illness. Bug infestations and poor sanitation add to the misery. Detainees reportedly use the same water for drinking and toilets. Flooding inside the buildings raises concerns about mold and disease. Food is described as meager and lacking nutrition, compounding the stress of confinement. These conditions suggest systemic neglect, not just poor planning. Lawmakers question whether this is a result of haste or a deliberate deterrent strategy. The facility's design and operation have come under intense scrutiny for failing basic standards of care. The most powerful stories come from detainees' families. One woman described her husband's ordeal: no shower for over 2 weeks, constant hunger and unsanitary conditions. He's denied basic hygiene and receives only meager meals, leaving him weak and unwell. The lack of nutrition is especially dangerous in the heat and overcrowding. Most alarming, he has no access to legal counsel. Trapped in limbo, unable to challenge his detention or seek asylum. Families outside are left anxious and helpless, hearing stories of neglect and desperation. These first-hand accounts turn policy debates into urgent human crises. The absence of legal aid and basic care raises serious questions about rights and due process. At its core, the Alligator Alcatraz story is about transparency, accountability, and basic human decency. Built in 8 days under emergency powers, the facility is accused of severe overcrowding and inhumane conditions. Officials deny these claims but restrict access, fueling suspicion. The refusal to allow oversight is a red flag. Without transparency, abuse can flourish. How we treat the most vulnerable reflects our national values. Reports of sweltering cages, denied showers, and no legal aid should concern everyone. This is about more than one facility. It's about the rule of law and the standards we set as a society. The story challenges us to demand justice, oversight, and humanity from our leaders.